You're listening to the Arena Sports Network, the Quad County Experience, where every fan has a voice and every team has a fan.
You can't handle the truth.
When you put cameras right in our face, like, we really don't know what to say.
Oh, I'm supposed to say something?
I ain't got nothing to say.
Don't talk to me today.
Be smart what you say.
You want me to say something?
I got the mic there.
I got nothing funny to say.
I don't either.
I'm not Brett Favre.
Sorry to let them down.
Yeah.
Let's go, guys. It's a game. It's a game out here I want to play in. Someday with experience, we'll have something funny to say.
Pull out your recorders and cover your children's eyes. You're about to enter the afternoon locker room. And here we go inside the afternoon locker room with your host, Brian Snow.
And off we go with another afternoon locker room presented by LaPorteCountyLife.com. LaPorte County Life. Have you heard the good news? Let me thank Leo Bienemy for this introduction. Man, that stopped fast. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for that to happen. I pushed the wrong button yet again. Yeah, I pushed the wrong button. I meant to fade that out. I didn't mean for it to sharply fade out like that. So we'll try that again. There we go. Welcome to the Afternoon Locker Room. We are presented by LaPorteCountyLife.com. LaPorte County Life, have you heard the good news? And speaking of which, we're still in express mode with all of our shows. And we're going to, as mentioned, be like this until August, when we get all our sponsors that we are getting together. And let me say hi to my good buddy Greg Schwartz. Had a chance to meet him and have dinner with him last night, and he's gonna become part of the team. He's gonna be a big part of the team. I'll explain that as we go along. All right. Where do we begin this afternoon? I mean, the NBA trade rumors are loud, all right? And when I say they are loud, I mean they are absolutely loud. Because as you heard yesterday, Mike Hearn said that there is a possibility that LeBron James, yes, that LeBron James would be returning to, of all places, Cleveland. Ah, boy. You know what? And I put a question out there, and I'm going to put it out there this afternoon. I want the fans to respond. And the question goes like this. Let me get this out of the way. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/afternoonlocker. And also follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/afternoonlockerroom. And I'm going to put this up right now. And the question is this. If, and I do stress the word if, LeBron James returns to Cleveland, is all forgiven? That's our first question of the day. If LeBron James returns to Cleveland, is all forgiven? Nope. Because of how he left the city in 2010, because he did not deliver that team a championship when he was expected to, and the only way that the fans there are going to forgive him is if he does deliver them a championship. Period. LeBron's got a lot to make up if he goes back home. And all this buzz started with a tweet from his family that showed a silhouette of the state of Ohio with the word Akron, which is where LeBron James is from. I'll answer that question already. No, all is not forgiven. But knowing the fans of Cleveland and knowing how starved they are for a championship, they will forgive him in a heartbeat and welcome him back. They'll even let him commit the sacrilege among sacrileges and wear the number 23. Knowing he's got no doggone business wearing number 23. I've said it before, and I will continue to stay with it. There is only one person that deserved to wear number 23, and that's the original 23. His last name's Jordan, not James, all right? I don't care what people say to me or about me with this opinion. And keep in mind it is an opinion. But at the same time, who else can wear number 23? Which also sparks the debate, should 23 be retired across the league? The same way Major League Baseball did for Jackie Robinson when they retired 42. I'm still unsure on that. And the reason I'm still unsure on that is because there are teams that are going to oppose it. If it would, a simple answer, yes. A complicated answer, who knows? But that's where I stand if LeBron were to go back to Cleveland. Now, I spotted another article posted by Sekou Smith, Hangtime blog on NBA.com. Why can't the Bulls land any free agents? Article reads as follows: If the answer was an easy one, Carmelo Anthony might have already committed to continuing his NBA future in Chicago. Or perhaps LeBron James would have chosen to take in his talents to the Windy City in the summer of 2010. And if he would have done that, I'd have stopped watching. There is no question that the Chicago Bulls offer the proper platform for any superstar looking to chase his championship dreams. Title-rich winning history, there was a resident superstar, albeit coming off 2 straight seasons of significant injury issues. That's the word I wanted. An elite rim protector and backbone in Defensive Player of the Year Joakim Noah, and a coaching savant in charge in Tom Thibodeau. Stable ownership, a shrewd front office led by Gar Forman and John Paxson. Hear that, haters? Cap space, and again, with the league's moratorium on free agent signings just days away from being lifted, the Bulls don't have a taker for all that they offer. Article reads on, they're not out of the Melo sweepstakes yet. According to the Tribune, they're still alive, but they are not the favorite to land him despite being the logical fit. They need an elite scorer to pair with Rose, and Anthony can basically get 30 in his sleep. Yeah, but he can't play a doggone lick of defense. Why is it so hard to snag one of these available superstars? And I don't want to hear anything about the harsh climate. Chicago's a world-class city. This is Sekou's words. Chicago's a world-class city, and the Bulls don't play outdoors. So we can toss the weather report out the window as a factor right now. There are deeper issues at play here in my mind, and they have more to do with the nuts and bolts components of the Bulls team awaiting the player who takes the lead. Is it the trepidation about what Rose will be like in his latest comeback, the worry that his MVP days are over, and perhaps he'll merely be a good but not a great player? No. Rose's future is easily the most pressing issue for any superstar considering the Bulls. The Bulls couldn't get over the hump when he was healthy, so there's no guarantee they'll be able to do so now. Baloney. Baloney. I'll start right there. I've talked about this before. How do y'all know what's going to happen when Derrick Rose returns? No one knew that he was going to injure himself yet again. No one understood what happened the second time in Portland in November. So y'all are going to base what's going to happen with Derrick Rose on 2 significant injuries and not take a leap of faith yourself and wonder what's going to happen when he is healthy. You know what? Some of these fans need to go with their opinions. I'll read on. Maybe the prospect of playing for a grinder like Thibodeau, who was relentless in his approach to everything from practice to the post-game messages he delivers to the media, isn't as attractive to the superstar crowd as it is to the blue-collar studs like Taj Gibson, Jimmy Butler, and others. Okay, so it's a blue-collar city. So bleeping what? Which tells me a lot of the superstars that weighed Chicago as an option do not want to go to work. They do not want to put on the hard hat They do not want to do what's necessary to commit to the grind. They want to have it easy because they're superstars. Sorry, Michael Jordan didn't have it easy under Phil Jackson. Later on in his career, yes. But that's because Michael put in the work off hours, which sometimes makes me question how these superstars really operate. The only ones that I cannot question fully would be Kobe Bryant, and then I'm talking this day and age, right here, right now. They would be Kobe Bryant, they would be Kevin Durant, and they would be Dirk Nowitzki. Oh, I'll put a fourth one in there, Tim Duncan. Players like that commit to the grind, no matter if they're leaders of the team or superstars or whatever. They commit to the grind, which explains why Kobe Bryant has 5 championships and LeBron James only has 2. Which explains why Dirk Nowitzki was able to put away the Miami Heat in 2011 when they won that series 4-2. When you commit to the grind, you commit to it in full, period. You do not stop. You do not quit. You do not rest. And I'm telling everybody right now that is what's going to happen with one Derrick Rose. Everybody has an opinion, and it's basically becoming the same opinion that, oh, Derrick Rose is not going to be a great player anymore because of those 2 significant injuries. You know what? I hope he hears it, and I hope it pisses him off. And I hope it pisses him off to the point where he returns and shows everybody what they've missed for 2 years, and all these bandwagon fans that are jumping off the bandwagon. And there are folks that are going to be jumping off the bandwagon. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. I hope that there are folks that are jumping off the bandwagon that come back on. They'll try to come back on, and there's no room. Why? Because the real fans took over the thing. The real fans that believed in Derrick Rose from the beginning. And I have stated this about the Bulls, and I will continue to state it to the real fans that pay attention. The only thing that has bitten Tom Thibodeau's Bulls in 4 years have been the exact same thing that Derrick Rose has gone through for the last 2 years. That has been injuries. That is all that has bitten the Bulls in the rear end. That's it. Did we have problems scoring the ball last year? Sure, last in the league. Not going to deny that. But at the same time, when you produce the Defensive Player of the Year and you're still third in NBA defense, there's something to be said for that. It doesn't help much when you can't put the ball in the bucket in the playoffs and you got a younger, hungrier team in the Washington Wizards that race up and down the floor with no problem. No, it does not help that. It also doesn't help that the Wizards figured out the Bulls system and had a counter for it. And the Bulls just didn't have enough parts due to injuries to figure out a counter to Washington. And Washington was able to snatch control of the series early. Article reads on, and even though we are 2 full NBA generations removed from the Jordan era, elite stars like Anthony and James have to wrestle with the vast shadow cast by the player considered by most to be the greatest that's ever played. The prospect of trying to live up to his legend in the same jersey is added pressure no one needs. I'm going to read that again. even though we are, and this is according to an article, once again, this is Sekou Smith's Hang Time blog, and the article is titled No Takers in Chicago. Go to NBA.com and click on Sekou Smith's Hang Time blog if you want to read. He's always been a good read. Again, it reads, even though we are 2 full NBA generations removed from the Jordan era, elite stars like Anthony and James have to wrestle with the vast shadow cast by the player considered by most to be the greatest that's ever played. The prospect trying to live up to his legend, in the same jersey is added pressure that no one needs. Okay. I will start with a comparison that is made a lot and still being made to this day. And that's a comparison that is so unfair that it doesn't need to be made. And that's LeBron James versus Michael Jordan. When Michael Jordan came to the Bulls in 1984, immediate results were expected of him, and he delivered. He had a 58-point performance on March 26, 1987, against the New Jersey Nets. He did a post-game interview with the late Johnny Red Kerr. Johnny asked him a simple question at the end of the interview, and he said, "What's next?" Michael's response, quote, "A championship." Michael put that pressure on himself, and in 1991, he delivered. And as crazy as this sounds, when LeBron James was drafted by the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2003, he did not just have the woes of the Cavaliers heaped on him and past playoff failures of the Cavaliers heaped on him. He did not just have the entire city of Cleveland heaped on him. He had the entire state of Ohio heaped on his shoulders, in particular the city of Cleveland. Why? Because that city, Cleveland, Ohio, God help me, has been starving for a championship since 1948. Take the Cleveland Crunch and the Cleveland Force out of the equation. We're talking about the big-time professional sports in Cleveland. The Cleveland Browns, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Cleveland Indians have not even sniffed anything close. Before LeBron James arrived, the closest that the Cavs got to an NBA title was when Michael Jordan put Craig Elo away in a 6-game conquest in 1992 in the Eastern Conference Finals. And at one point, that series was 2 apiece. And then MJ and the Bulls said, all right, we've had enough of you. Put him away in Game 5, put him away in Game 6. Until LeBron James took Cleveland to the NBA Finals in 2007. That is the absolute closest that Cleveland has ever come to even sniffing a world championship. Kind of sounds like the Cubs, but I'll get to them later. So to have all that heaped on his shoulders, it kind of seemed unfair, but it's also something that he wanted. Doggone it. I bought a new toy for the studio, and it's not acting right. We'll try to get it acting right soon. It's almost like it seems unfair, but he wanted the challenge. But then he bailed out in 2010. Something wrong with that picture? Michael Jordan didn't bail out in 1988. Tim Duncan didn't bail out when he was drafted. And every year Tim Duncan's been in the NBA. He's been in the playoffs. Dirk Nowitzki didn't bail out when his Mavericks teams were terrible when he got drafted. Kobe Bryant hasn't bailed out. And believe me, the last couple of years were so hard for him to watch. He said it himself because of the ultra competitiveness of him and wanting to leave this Laker team, but he was physically unable to. The fact that LeBron bailed out after 7 years in Cleveland, and we still ask why to this day, should tell you something about how this decision is going to go. Should tell you everything about how this decision is going to go. And what makes it even worse for LeBron is the fact, I beg pardon, is the fact that the thought is being entertained. The thought is even being entertained that he would return to Cleveland. I don't think he will. There are some people that think he will. But I bet you this turns into LeBron Part 2. It happened in 2010. It's happening again. Now I got some folks popping in saying, will LeBron return? The question that I put out there was, will LeBron return to Cleveland? And now people are really starting to pick the notion is really starting to pick up steam that he will return home. We'll have to see, because it's going to be another decision kind of thing. And this all emerged yesterday. This all emerged yesterday. Let me take a break because I just got an idea and I'm going to act on it. We'll come back in a couple, and there are a couple fans there are a couple fans online that want to call in and weigh with their thoughts. So, give me 2 minutes and we'll see what happens. Talking NBA free agency on the Afternoon Locker Room on the Arena Sports Network.
What is the IHSA?
For more than 100 years, the Illinois High School Association and member schools have provided opportunities for students to participate in interscholastic athletics and activities, which produce vital education benefits.
Did you know the IHSA offers statewide championship series in 14 sports for boys and girls and sponsors statewide championships in 7 non-athletic activities? Did you know the IHSA licenses more than 10,000 contest officials in 13 different sports and that more than 300,000 students participate in IHSA sports and activities every year? Did you know activity programs only account for 1 to 3% of the overall education budget in a school? Did you know the nation's first sportsmanship mascot was created by the IHSA in 1997 with the birth of Attitude? Did you know students who participate in activity programs tend to have higher grades, better attendance, lower dropout rates, and fewer discipline problems than students that don't participate? Did you know activity programs provide valuable lessons for practical life situations? Teamwork, self-discipline, time management, dealing with adversity, and communication skills?
Now that you know, get in the game. Be a fan and join the fun. Support your local high school programs.
This message has been brought to you by the IHSA. Challenge yourself.
Have you heard the good news about a crazy dream based on a belief that positive breeds positive and that people want to read, hear, and watch stuff about good people? Have you heard the good news about a place you can go to enjoy positive, community-oriented information about the town, city, or region you live in and the people involved? Have you heard the good news about a place where you can celebrate what is right in the world, share it with your friends, family, and community, and neighbors at school, work, or place of worship, and have fun doing it? Well, there is such a place. That place is LaPorteCountyLife.com. LaPorteCountyLife.com is all about the positive, not the negative, bringing out the best and not the worst, and all about promoting positivity in your community. LaPorteCountyLife.com. Have you heard the good news?
I represent the Excelsior Appliance and Appurtenance Company Incorporated with a complete line of household appliances and is the lady of the house in? What?
You're listening to the Afternoon Locker Room on the Arena Sports Network. 25 beyond the hour here on the ALR Express. 1 hour today here on the Afternoon Locker Room. But this show will expand again right after football season kicks off in August. We're presented by LaPorteCountyLife.com. As I take a big gulp of water here. And someone gave me an idea, and I think we're going to go out east for this. Yep. Yeah, we're going to go out east. Someone wanted to call and weigh in, and it's a person I talked to you all about before. Got a call coming in from New York, and I believe this is Trisha. She's been waiting to weigh in. What's up, Trisha?
Hey, what's up?
You heard me talking about if LeBron James is going to go back to Cleveland, is all forgiven. Give me your thoughts on that, honey.
Well, I personally believe that it is a very, very, there's a high possibility that he will go back to Cleveland. And I kind of equate the whole decision thing for LeBron like a person who's shopping for a new home.
Like,
unless you're crazy like me, because I've done this before, but I have a lot less money than LeBron, right?
I love
if you're going to pick a new place to live,
yes.
right?
Yes.
This is essentially what it is at the very foundation. If you're going to pick a new place to live, wouldn't you visit? Like, he's sending his agent to all the prospective teams, right, to hear them out. But if you're going to move your family somewhere, you want to actually be there. So there are only two places I think that he is very familiar with, and that is obviously Miami, because he's been there for
last 4 years.
Last 4 years, but he also lives in Cleveland in off season. Like, like maybe it's a different kind of perspective, but I'm not going to move my family someplace where I've never been if I'm not going to even visit to see what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
So Cleveland is a big possibility. And one last thing, because I don't want to take up too much time online, but like, I kind of think that LeBron wants to possibly keep winning. I know this kind of sounds kind of bad, but
I get the idea.
Like, and this is, Chris Bosh is trying to say that he's not going to take $96 million because he wants to play with LeBron in Miami, but like, dude, Wade, Bosh, and LeBron is not like a long tail. Like, they're not winning as bad as their core unit.
It's not MJ, Scotty, and Dennis Rodman, for God's sakes. Okay, they actually had some long.
Exactly.
It's not MJ, Scotty, and Horace Grant. The first part of the Bulls era, they actually had some longevity, and they took a few years to grow together.
Exactly, and unless they like strike gold and get like Powell or somebody else that could help in the middle, I feel like they still go in for Udonis. They have Josh Hamilton, who like wasn't signed, and they tried him out a couple years ago in summer league, and then they finally got him. But he's a stretch five. He's not even like a body banger. At least I don't believe. So they're not really solving problems. Like that was the problem. They get ran through by teams like the Pacers and the Spurs with players that have strong, like, at least, deep paint to 17 feet, like teams that have strong big men really run through Miami. So
teams that have strong teams that have, and we're talking talking through the course of different eras, as I mentioned at the top of the show, Showtime Lakers of the 80s, the Bulls of the 90s, the Celtics covering 2 decades. Teams with long, and you and I have talked about this too, long, strong fundamentals. That's how Miami got beat, and that's why everybody's bailing out of Miami. But you mentioned 2 good points. Number one, LeBron keeps an off-season home in Cleveland, in Akron, as a matter of fact, his hometown. And 2, in many ways, and I just thought about this, he still loved there even though he left. Now, give me your thoughts, if you will, hon, about the entire city of Cleveland placing their hopes on his shoulder. Should it happen, the entire city of Cleveland placing their hopes on his shoulders one more time?
Okay, so that whole concept to me is really, really, it's two-sided. I think it's terrible, but you can't help but capitalize on opportunity. And I always thought that it was unfair that everyone hated LeBron for leaving. Not just how he left, but like because not only did he just leave the team, but he left probably a lot of small business owners in financial ruin.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of bars, bars and stuff, propped up around the arena and stuff like that. And it was because, Cleveland ball was big.
Right.
Now, I hope they use that thing that happened in the past as a way to guide themselves in the future. Say, look, LeBron could possibly leave after this, but he'd be way older. So that it's really unlikely he might want to finish his career there. But I hope they learn from that experience that they can't put all their eggs in the basket because of one particular person.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was unfair that they kind of said LeBron was like the basketball devil because he left, and now all these people have to now regroup financially.
Right.
I don't blame them for taking the opportunity, but I hope they use their the hindsight and say, look, this may not all. We can't have our whole business dependent on one guy.
Right.
But I want to add this part. They do have a fallback because they could focus their attention on, Wiggins because Wiggins is now there. And
Kyrie Irving, who they signed to a 9-year deal.
And Kyrie, right? So now they have continuous, Kyrie's still there.
Mm-hmm.
He signed a contract. Wiggins is there. He's got at least, I guess 2 or 3 years before he has to go for his next contract. So they're kind of stabilized for a while. So you get kind of cheap. You could say, I'm going to build my business on basketball, not just LeBron, because you have options now.
Yeah, you do. You posed a question to me online before I came on this afternoon, and it's a good one, and this is how we're going to kick off our next topic. Got Trisha on the line from New York, talking basketball with old Snowman here inside the afternoon locker room. We're presented by Wood Forest Bank. This is the question that she posed to me, and it's been posted a lot. There was a statement made by a couple of fans that said Tim Duncan is the greatest power forward to ever play the game. And this young lady's retort, bless her heart, and she brought up an old school name, and I love her for this. Anybody remember the mailman, Karl Malone, and how he used to beat up people in the post all the time, and how fundamental he was when he played the game? I'm going to give you the floor first, honey, on this comparison. Tim Duncan versus Karl Malone. Now, before I give you the floor, I can think of 5 good reasons why folks will put Tim Duncan ahead of Karl Malone, and that's because Tim Duncan has a ring for every finger on his hand right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I understand that. I mean, the rings are a hard thing to battle, but here's the thing.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to start with my 2. I can always break things down in 2s, but 2 main reasons why I still think Karl Malone was a better power forward than Tim Duncan currently is now.
Lay him on me.
Now, okay. So I've been working in marketing, advertising for a while, so I know when something is being repackaged and sold to me that's not that good.
Right.
And I feel like, we respectfully call Tim Duncan Mr. Fundamental, but in reality, that really means he just does what he can. Basically, someone in 2 Minute Warning once said, watching Tim Duncan is actually like watching women's basketball. It's basic, but he does it well, right?
Yes.
Whereas Karl Malone, I feel like he not only had the fundamentals, but he was natural. See, when you look at Tim Duncan, he's still a robot to me. He's still he does it. He can kill the hell out of a backboard corner, right?
Yeah.
Big shot, that the backboard be hurting after the game with Tim Duncan.
And a lot of people don't use the back. And a lot of people don't use the backboard anymore. That's been gone from the NBA game for a long time now.
Yeah. So, and people need to people need to use fundamentals, especially the new players coming in that are relying on their athleticism.
Right.
Fundamentals is great, but can you tell me that Karl Malone didn't have the same level of fundamentals as Tim Duncan?
Oh, he did.
He was better.
Oh, I agree. I absolutely agree that Karl Malone had the same, if not more, fundamentals than Tim Duncan. I'm just saying what's based on the popular. I have not weighed on this subject, and I probably will after the break. But I'm just saying what's based on popular opinion, and I know you've heard it already. That 5 good reasons that Tim Duncan is better than Karl Malone at the power forward slot would be 1999, 2003, 2005, 2007, and now 2014. Those, of course, are the year the Spurs won the championship. Mm-hmm. What I loved about Karl Malone and watching him is that he would not just get the rebound and hand the ball to Stockton and jog up the floor. No, he would get the ball, hand the ball to Stockton, and then take off up either the near or the far sideline, and then Stockton would spot him and give him a return pass. One of the most fundamental things, and this is from a person that has played the position, one of the most fundamental things you were taught as a power forward is to get the rebound, secure it, and get the ball to your point guard and get the break going. And once the break gets going, you take off, because you are probably going to be the first person down the floor, and no one expects a big man to run as well as both Tim Duncan and Karl Malone do. I think Malone just did it a lot better. And, you know, just like Tim Duncan, he's always had a consistent point guard because Malone, of course, had John Stockton with him. So it's a close battle. And like I said, I haven't weighed on this yet, but it's not even close. Come on.
It's not even close.
Come on with it.
Let me answer the whole 5-ring thing with a question to you. You just went down all the championship years for the Spurs just now. But let's take a look at their rosters, right? Because they're making it seem like Tim Duncan did this by himself. I'm a big Steve Kerr fan, so I'm gonna go back.
Take us back. Take us back.
He played with. Is Sean Elliott, Mario Ellie, Robert Ory. And you know if you got Robert Ory on your team, you automatically get a ring. That's not even right?
I love it.
He played with them, right?
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
you know what? I just love that comparison. I just love that statement you just said. When you play with Big Shot Bob on your team, you automatically get a ring. That is terrific.
Automatic.
And it's also true because beginning in the 90s, the same was true about one Michael Jordan. Okay? And everybody that put in the time with MJ through the late 80s battling with the Detroit Pistons, and then they saw the fruits of their labor. You know what? I love that statement. I have got to keep that statement, and we got to put it. Actually, she's the moderator of a thread that I've talked to y'all about on Facebook called 2 Minute Warning, and I have Trisha on the line with me. We're talking some great basketball, and we're talking some old school, so y'all need to pay attention, okay? Big Shot Bob equals a ring. He's got 7 of them. All right, how great is that?
7.
I mean,
7
rings.
Brian, they pedal Sean Elliott out there with one kidney. One.
And a lot of people, hey, Sean Elliott is one of my favorite forwards of all time, okay? I love watching Sean Elliott. Anybody remember the Memorial Day Miracle from 1999? when he was supposed to step out of bounds, but he stood on his tiptoes and said, "The heck with this! I got it. I'm gonna take it," and he splashed it, and the whole city of San Antonio was nuts after that. But go ahead.
Before we slide up into that, I just want to make sure, because I'm fighting for my dude Carl.
Okay?
Right? I just went down this lot of unbelievable players that he played with within their system. He had all these players within his system. Let's look at Carl, right?
Yes.
He had Stockton, of course.
And he had Mark Eaton.
What's next? Jeff
Hornacek.
Right?
He had Mark Eaton for 4 years. He had Mark Eaton for 4 years. He had Mount Eaton in the middle.
Byron Russell.
Brian Russell.
Shannon.
Shannon Anderson.
Like, okay. Now let's compare the two. Okay, who do you think is more likely to get rings? Like Karl Malone has those players.
Yes.
Tim Duncan has like freaking the 92 Olympic team on his squad. What? You think he has 5 rings? I can't help this, man. I'm not even gonna look at the rings because I'm looking at the whole.
Hey, that's why I'm laughing because you're thinking the same way I'm thinking. Tim Duncan, like Michael Jordan before him, Magic Johnson before him, Larry Bird before him. Tim Duncan basically had a dream team that gave him 5 championships. You know, it's a big difference with some of the players that Karl Malone has played with. Malone has played with some good players. Don't get us wrong. He's played with some good players, but it's kind of unfair in some ways, and I mean this jokingly. It's kind of unfair comparing Karl Malone, who anybody who's seen Karl Malone knows how big and strong he is, flying up and down the floor with Stockton getting to him, Hornacek on the other side, Shannon Anderson flying to the hole. But then you look over at Tim Duncan. It's like you're comparing a Lamborghini to a Ferrari, okay?
Exactly.
You're comparing the options of a Lamborghini, and I'll use Karl Malone as the analogy. The comparisons of a Lamborghini with Jeff Hornacek, John Stockton, in some cases Mark Eaton, we mentioned him, Shannon Anderson, Antoine Carr in the late years in Utah. Then you look over at Tim Duncan, and he's got Tony Parker. He had Steve Kerr. He had Sean Elliott, Mario Ellie, as you mentioned. Lord knows he had fun with Big Shot Bob. You remember the 2005 NBA Finals. All right?
I remember.
That's why I made that comparison.
Like, I understand, sometimes these championships got us all fuzzy, all with the clouds over our eyes, but to me, I'm going through, I got on the father,
Okay.
I'm not going to let the rings, kind of
that's good.
my vision on what's really happening.
I love it. Hey.
If I know I was going to be asked a Karl Malone question, I would have actually had notes because I looked at their career stats for 17 seasons, side to side, and these Karl Malone is still living. I don't understand. I don't understand. I'm confused.
This is the best. Hey, this is one of the best conversations I've had since both shows returned to air after our hiatus. This is Trisha. She's from New York. She wanted to call in and weigh in on LeBron. We got going talking about basketball, and I got the feeling we're going to do this again. Thank you very much for calling in, hon. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks so much. Bye.
Oh, that's great. She's got to call in again. Oh my goodness. That was awesome. That was absolutely awesome. And thank you, Trisha, once again, for jumping online. Took everything out of order what we were going to do, but you know what? For that conversation, it was worth it, and you will hear it again. Probably later tonight on our podcast. Let me pause for a break, and when we come back, I'll put a bow on this bad boy because I got to do some driving here in a minute. Back in the deuce.
An ordinary sunny day, an ordinary family's living room filled with an ordinary bunch of kids, and they were doing nothing. They were couch slouching, they were rug imitating, and lazy minute after lazy minute was passing them by, when suddenly...
Huh? Hey guys, that's a personal foul. Inactive activity on a sunny day.
Coming to the rescue was NFL running back Reggie Bush.
Players don't get lazy penalties. Let's play.
Those kids, they listened to Reggie. They got up and play they did. There was fun and running. There were smiles and jumping. And laziness was crushed.
Hey kids, don't get a lazy penalty.
Kids, listen to Reggie and avoid lazy penalties. Be a player. Get up and play for an hour a day. Go online to check out smallstep.gov for fun playtime ideas.
So you can be a player too.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Be a player. Planning an upcoming event? The completely refurbished Diamond Club at U.S. Steel Yard is available year-round for birthday parties, wedding receptions, business meetings, conferences, and a wide variety of other activities. With a full service bar and the ability to accommodate groups of up to 300 people, the Diamond Club is the perfect place to host your next event. Fully customizable food options through Aramark are also available. Call the Railcats at 219-882-2255 and have the Railcats fashion an event your friends, family, clients, or colleagues will never forget. The Gary South Shore Railcats, redefining fun.
Quality products from Bridgestone, Firestone, and great service is what sets U.S. Tire and Automotive apart. Our service department specializes in brake service alignments and oil changes for customers just like you. Come pay us a visit at 3350 Grant Street in Gary, Indiana, or call 219-884-4600, or visit us online at ustire-auto.com.
I represent the Excelsior Appliance and Appurtenance Company Incorporated with a complete line of household appliances and Is the lady of the house in? What?
Testing. 1, 2. Oh, sorry. You're listening to the Afternoon Locker Room on the Arena Sports Network. Is this thing on? Hi. 46 beyond the hour. Oh my goodness! Thank you, Trisha, for calling in. I'm going to do a call-in line, but it's I would say it's probably about 2 to 3 weeks away when we go back to our 2-hour shows. Because what I want to do is install a call-in segment. I just got this update. And Rusty Silber, who, you know what? Let me see if I can get him on the line here in a minute. I just got this update, and it's 30 minutes into the Germany-Brazil soccer match. And if I'm reading this right, Germany is up 5-0. Let me see if I can get Rusty. Rusty, you with me?
Yeah.
Is that score right?
That score is right.
5-0?
Uh-huh.
What the hell happened?
It's called a total collapse by Brazil.
Yes.
And Germany is just eating up the passing and scoring.
Brazil's getting tattooed. I've never seen that. Holy cow. Because here's what happened, folks. Rusty sent me a text message saying Germany was up 5-0, and y'all know Rusty, when he's on the morning show with me, he has a tendency to try to zap me. But I looked at that and I said, this can't be right. So that's why I got him on real. How much time has gone?
They're at halftime right now. Brazil gave up 4 goals in a span of about 7-8 minutes. It was like somebody just got the firing range out, and they just kept scoring.
And this is not indoor soccer, folks. This is way outdoors.
Oh, yeah. Let's just say if you look at every Brazil fan out there, they're sitting in their seats like...
Yeah, that silence alone.
In the stadium.
David Schuster, a good friend, a mutual friend of ours, David Schuster just posted a great comment when he said, and I quote, "Just turned on the soccer game. Is Roberto Luongo in net for Brazil?" Oh, goodness.
I just Brazil is they got scared.
Yeah, I would say so. Thanks for the update, Rusty. I'll talk to you tomorrow morning. Oh, gracious. I can't believe that it's 5-0. Unless Brazil does what the Blackhawks did to Calgary one night, this game's over. Over, done, finito. Oh, my great. Oh, Josh is at it again. It's like the Cubs whenever they step on the field. Oh, my goodness. Oh, man. Oh, man. Let me thank my friend Trisha, who runs 2-Minute Warning on one of the moderators of 2-Minute Warning on Facebook. Thank you very much. I think we just need to get out of here. We just can't. I can't close this more properly than with that surprising score. Back tomorrow with Snowman in the morning, beginning at 8 a.m. Eastern. Enjoy the archives. I got to get some food. Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. I'm out of here.